Warning. The views and imagery that will be touched upon this documentary are sensitive to certain viewers. Please put in mind all things said here are opinion based.
Hey, my name is Vuyani Bila. If you're watching this, welcome to the Lyricist. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Is this even possible to be nervous when you're on all alone? Is it? Yeah. Yo, what's up? The name is Vuyani Bila, aka Shava, aka Gino Kamikaze. Yeah, welcome to the Theorist Lounge. What's basically happening is I'm gonna be interviewing per se, and also having discussions with one of all the greatest minds I know on this earth, basically, and people who have time to share their knowledge, you know what I mean? And we're basically going to be discussing a lot of topics like what is the purpose of life, religion, you know what I mean, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, all of the above, man. We're just going to have a nice deep conversation for all those, and we're going to share our minds. And if you would like to add stuff, you can holler at me on Facebook. It's Vuyani Bila, or tweet me on Bila Vuyani, you know what I mean, at Bila Vuyani, you know what it is. And yeah, you can catch me anywhere, anytime. I'm available all day, all night. Welcome to the Theorist Lounge. Let's go. What is the purpose of life?
Whole life is just a dream.
It's basically what I want, and where the Lord leads me. I don't know. I don't think it's as complicated as people make it. Like life.
Because subconsciously.
The purpose of life, Mushi.
Purpose of life.
Be careful.
I don't want to get all deep on camera.
Come on, Doug.
That's a deep guy.
I can only show you the door. You have to walk.
Love is not to blame, but knows that you.
Hello, Neo. You're right on time.
Alright, cool. So I'm with the Forb right now. Cool.
What is born, son?
Yeah, dog. What's the purpose of life, dog?
I'll tell you guys a story first before I tell you this, man.
Right.
I had a dream once, you know. It was like the end of the world, you know what I mean? I'm not joking. You know, it wasn't like 2012, whatever ish, you know, flames out of the sky, whatever, man. It was just like a mass execution happening, dog, you know. I don't know for what reason, but it looked like, you know, the people who were doing it were from, I don't know, some religious organization or whatever, some religious movement or something like that, you check. And for some reason I was just on the sideline, you know what I mean? It was like I wasn't there, you know. They weren't even looking at me. I don't think I was a part of them, you know, if you guys really dissect this the wrong way, because my friends were there, you know what I mean, and they were scared, man, and I was scared for them, you know.
Was I there?
Nah. It was a couple of random, not really friends, just random people that I knew, you know.
Okay, cool.
And they were really scared, man, to die, you know, and I felt it, you know, and I got a message, dude, you know. Oh man, I'm gonna say from God. If I'm wrong, dude, you know,
Pardon.
Lord forgive me, but that message was from God, dude. And he told me to tell the people the purpose of life is to live, dude. That is the purpose of life, dog.
I think that there are different purposes in life. I'm gonna give you a quotation, you know, from a dude called Stephen Covey. He said, life, you need the 4 L's of life, namely love, learn, live, and legacy. You know, I personally think that, you know, the purpose of life revolves around that. You know what I mean? You need to love. You know. I believe that there's intelligent design that made us, you know, that created us, you know, to love one another, you know, and return back to the essence. You know, I also believe that we are also here to acquire certain attributes, you know, in order to be fit enough to make it into the next world, you know, in order to break bread with the God, you know what I mean? And like I was saying, you know, the purpose, you know, it's you cannot understand it properly because it's like living in another world. You cannot imagine another world because, you know, it's in comparison to imagining another color. You know, it's in comparison to a child or a fetus imagining the world outside. You know, it cannot imagine that. You know, and it's just like us in this world. You know, we cannot imagine the next world. But all we need to know is that we were given basic instructions to follow, so that we can survive in the next world, so we can be fit enough to enter the next world. And yeah, man, you know, I think that those are one of the key elements, you know, that revolve around living. You know, I also think that living is very important too. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, you know,
purpose of life is basically that. You know, that's it. You know, you live it to the best of your ability. If you're passionate, if you have passion and you have love, that's basically it. You live on that. If you don't have love, because love is the most important to me. If you don't have love, you break down, you have no regard for life. You know? So you don't care, you kill, and you have no remorse because there's no love in your heart. If you have a love, then you have passion, you have compassion, you know, for people, for others, for another person's life, because you understand the potential that they have and the impact that they have on other people's lives. So if you have that, then you understand and you can grasp the concept of another's life. So if you have love for your own, you understand that there's other people who have love. And then you understand that you have to love others to respect life in itself. So life is to love, you know.
That's the purpose of life.
In my opinion, you know, it's well thought out. The purpose of life, the way I see it, is to continue. Because people like to wonder about the next life and don't consider that because they are in this life, they come from a previous life. And therefore, life has continued because we entered this state from the previous one. And from this one, you will enter another state, you know what I'm saying? In that, you also conclude that you will be giving up a legacy in terms of when you leave here, by some means, you will continue life because you will reproduce, you know what I'm saying? You will give life to another entity that comes from somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Another spiritual being that constitutes your genetic makeup from, you know, you and whatever, your spouse or whatever. And they come together to form a body that will shell a spiritual entity from another life, you know what I'm saying? And they will come into this life, live it, and then move on to the next, and so on and so forth, you know what I mean? Because we are in preparation, like Leroy said, you live this life in preparation of the next, you know, you learn things, you experience things. But it is all limited to this realm, because you cannot imagine what comes next, because you are only built for this dimension, you know what I mean?
So how many dimensions are there?
Like I said, life continues, though. I could say countless. That's
so you believe in reincarnation?
No, not exactly. You know what I mean? Because reincarnation would mean to say coming back to the same realm, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's possible, because you have to continue, like I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
who's born?
what is born.
That's it.
What is boza?
No, that's not it though, because people also talk about things like heaven and things like that. To me, heaven is the idea. It's the idea like you can only see towards the limited future, you know, or the limited afterlife. Meaning, from this life, you can only imagine the singular life of the next. Not that from heaven something else is to occur. You know what I'm saying? People think that from this life you go to heaven and that's the end of it. How do you know that? You know what I mean? What if heaven is another platform to another, you know what I'm saying, another dimension? That's why I'm saying life continues.
Some people have, you know, different perceptions about life. To me, life is party. To him, life is music. To him, yeah, hip hop, you know, cults, whatnot. But ultimately, it's one God. And with God, it's like different dimensions. Like when I got saved, it wasn't like Jehovah Rapha, healer. It wasn't. It was basically grace. It was mercy. It was like, hey, even I'm loved. Ah, Nkulunkulu. Nami angithanda. Hayibo. So yeah, one God, different dimensions.
I know you're near. Am I with you? You're the oracle? Bingo. Not quite what you were expecting, right? Almost definitely. Smell good, don't they? Yeah. I'd ask you to sit down, but you're not going to eat. And don't worry about the baby. What case? That face. I'm sorry. I said don't worry about it. I'll get one of my kids to fix it. How did you know? Oh, what's really going to bake your noodle later on is, would you still have broken it if I hadn't said anything?
To break it down for you, you know, I'm gonna go to the Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the Matrix, you get a guy who was just going through life and whatever, you know, but he understood something great, you know. In that sense, it took him to Morpheus, who later brought him back into the real world, and he took him to some woman who's called the Oracle. Yeah. And the Oracle explained to Neo that he's not the one. You check. And Neo believed that he's not the one, dude. You know? And later on in the movie, Morpheus explained to Neo that Neo, there's a difference between being the one and living the path of the one. You know what I mean? It's not the title, it's the path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Oracle explained to you that you were not given the title, but you were given the path, bro. Just as I believe in life that you're not given an accomplishment. You know what I mean? You're given a path.
The word.
You know what I mean? You should go through that path, dude. To explain to you much better what I mean by the path is now. There's a movie called Slumdog Millionaire. In the beginning, it says the guy who wants to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, it explained before the movie started that this guy who wants to be a millionaire. Now, did he cheat? Was he really smart? Was it fate? Or was it written?
Word.
You know what I mean?
What's the difference between fate and written?
Well, man,
written and stolen.
Fate is something that you push to stumble upon. You know what I mean? Fate is one event. It can happen multiple times in your life. You know what I mean? Your fate. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? But to ask you, when you said is it fate, I'm thinking that what did they really actually say that? Was it was it written? Did he cheat? Was he really smart? Yeah, I think it was fate. You know, but don't look at the whole fate part. You know what I mean? Cool. I will explain to you what I was saying by the path.
Okay, cool.
that guy knew every answer, because every question that was asked, the answer he got from an event of his life. You know what I mean? A really important event of his life. Just like when I asked him, who's on the cover, or whose portrait is on the $100 bill, which is Benjamin Franklin. Him and his friends were in some situation where they were hungry and they were chased by police and whatever, and the $100 bill was floating in some swamp that they were chilling by, you know what I mean? And they didn't know it was a $100 bill because they were living in India and they've never seen it. So they took it to a blind guy, and that blind guy, he felt the money and he smelt it, and he asked him who's on the picture and explained to him how he looks, and he said Benjamin Franklin. If those boys, if that event didn't happen, they wouldn't have known who Benjamin Franklin is.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? And they wouldn't have known that he's on the $100 bill. Every question that was asked, he had the answer from an event that happened in his life, dude. Grasp that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every single, me being here, it was written, dude.
It was written, word.
The answer to the movie was, it was written, dog. Every single thing that happens in your life, it was meant to be. Whether Joe, you try to jump over the street and you tell yourself, nah, it was written, let me actually go back. It was written that you will go back. You know what I mean, dog?
Yeah.
Just as much as if I shiver, you know. Who Credo was.
Credo Matoa.
Who he was, dog, you know.
Okay.
If he didn't meet Septic, he wouldn't have known who Credo is.
Okay, yeah, word.
It was written that he would meet Septic in order for him to know this. Every knowledge that is applied to, every knowledge that you accumulate in your life, it's brought to you in order to bring you in the path, dog. You know what I mean? Every decision that you make, you think that you're making a decision, but really you're not, because this decision is based upon calculation through your knowledge and your wisdom. You're not born with the knowledge and wisdom, it's accumulated.
Through
think about that.
Lessons.
Through life's lessons, you know what I mean? Cool. So everything, every direction, every street you take, every decision that you make, dog, it was written, dog, that you will come across that. So you would say, oh, what's the purpose of life then? Because now we just going through life, you know what I mean? Whatever I do, I can just chill in the corner. Dude, if you choose to chill around the corner, boredom will come. That is the one thing, the one force, the one law, or whatever, the one force that I think God brought to this world, boredom. That's why you cannot just chill in one corner and say, you know, I'm going to sit here till my life ends. You're going to get bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to have to get up and do something, dog. You know what I mean? Life keeps moving on. It's constant, dog. You know what I mean? It's constant. And thus, we get to now, what's the point of just going through life and whatever, dog? I get to this. When Neo asked him, when Neo came into, Neo walked into the Oracle.
Yeah, that question.
You know, when Neo walked into the Oracle's apartment, you know, the Oracle told Neo, he's like, watch out for the vase. And he turned around and he dropped the vase.
Yeah.
And he asked her, how did you know? And he said, the question is, would you have dropped the vase if I didn't tell you?
Yep.
You know, it baffled them for a while now. And then we moved into this. Now, this is gonna bake your noodle now. It's not. He thought now. Okay, this now derives into choice now. Or what? That's what people believe life is. A bunch of choices that you make, though.
Right.
Now, like I told you, now everything, all the events and whatever, now, has influenced you to move into a certain direction. Your choice is based upon calculations from your wisdom and your knowledge, which you've accumulated. Now think about this. If I asked you now, which is the most poisonous fruit, you had to eat one of them, dog. And I showed you mango, and I showed you some Brazilian fruit. Oh, I showed you mango, I showed you apple, I showed you banana, and I showed you that pear from, you know, the rundown.
No, I don't know.
The rundown where that guy, the rock, where he eats that food and it paralyzes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put that, you know. And I said, which is the most poisonous fruit? You're gonna say the one at the rundown, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if you've never seen the rundown? But likely you've seen the rundown, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, that It's through the wisdom and knowledge that you've accumulated. That's why you make a choice. If it wasn't for the rundown, you would have made a bad choice. You probably said, banana because it's yellow or some shit. You know what I mean? So now I get back to the oracle's answer to Nia when he said, how did you know I was going to make that choice? And he said, it's not about the choice. It's about understanding why you made the choice. The choice has already been made, dog. It was written that you're going to be wherever you're going to be in your life, dog. You know what I mean? You need to understand why you were there, dude. You know? But the purpose of life is to live, dog. We live to understand why, dog. You know what I mean? That's what it is, dog. You know? It's not your purpose in life, dog. It's not maybe to save the world or whatever, dog. You know? If you already saved the world, dude. You know, 10 years later you saved the world, dog. That's why you can't practice for everything like that. You know, certain events like that. It was written that you're gonna be in this place. People, dog, it was written they're gonna be in a flight that crashed into the Twin Towers, dog, you know. It's to understand why, dog, you know. But some people say, but you dead, you know what I mean? Or what about children? You know? Everybody's life is interlinked, bro. Some poor guy in China, his life is interlinked with yours, bro. You know? So you influencing everybody's life in everybody's direction at once, dog. We're all moving in the same momentum, in the same synchronicity, dog. You understand? So, in that essence, dog, when I say the purpose of life is to live, dog, you must live to understand why you live it, dog. You know? That is all, dog. But you shouldn't think that you have some destiny that's rah rah rah. No, live. Do whatever that you're doing. Don't look for no destiny or no fate or whatever, dog. That will occur either way, dog. You know, whether you like it or not. You know, whether you're trying to move in that direction, you shouldn't try to push yourself into that direction. You know what I mean? Just live your life, dog. If you plan to be a doctor, go in that direction, man. You know, shouldn't just try to stop in life and be like, yo, man, Islamics, these people are evil, you know what I mean? What, I ain't praying to that, you know what I mean? And indulge in issues which do not benefit you in any way, dog. You know what I mean? You should understand the choice that you've made, dog, you know? If you become this person, you should understand why you become this person, dog, you know? And understand, once you understand why you become this person, that understanding, that's why I say your lives are interlinked with everybody. That understanding is going to influence the other person's life, dog, in order for him to move in another direction, dog. You know, just as much as I said, I understand that I made a bad choice, and you explain to maybe your child, dog, why that choice that you made is bad and he shouldn't move in that direction, dog. You're keeping the momentum going, dog. You know what I mean? It was written, dog.
They say the odds against me are crooked and impossible, like I was born with a hole in my heart. It's an obstacle, I left to die by the doctors in the children's hospital, but I never lose hope. Success is psychological, the world is volatile and the street is my education, shaping the nation like the blueprint of a mason, while Shawshank record deals get you raped on occasion. So I'm focused on my economic situation. I'm like the little kids on TV that dig through the trash. I hustle regardless of the way you talk shit and laugh. A lot of niggas drop science, but they don't know the math, cause they mind is narrower than the righteous path. It's funny how on the block niggas that kill you for cash but never raise the gun to cry out freedom at last. The Cold War is over, but the world is still getting colder. Atlas walking through the projects with the hood on my shoulders. I would like to raise my children to grow to be soldiers, but then a general would decide when their life would be over. So I work hard until my personality split, like the Black Panthers into the Bloods and the Crips. They said I'd never be shit, but now I sit and reminisce like Yeshua Ben Yosef flipping through Genesis. Ignorance is venomous and it murders the soul, spreading like a virus, running rampant out of control. So if I should ever fall and get caught in a hustle, let them know that I died while I fought in the struggle. From the hood rats to rich kids lost in a bubble, spray painted on the streets and in the subway tunnels. Write it down and remember that we never gave in. The mind of a child is where the revolution begins. So if the solution has never been to look in yourself, how is it that you expect to find it anywhere else? Immortal technique in the streets, back on the hustle, cause 3 strikes to get you life for stuffing cracks in a duffel. Upstate behind steel gates, attacked in a scuffle, raising razor blade stuck on the side of pencils hacked through your muscle. But the emptiness is what bleeds you to death when it cuts you. And it's the lawyers, not the inmates.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life, longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up this mountain. And I look over and I see the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing. My eyes have seen the glory.
From the hood rats to rich kids lost in the bubbles, spray painted on the streets and in the subway tunnels. Write it down and remember that we never gave in. The mind of a child is where the revolution begins. So if the solution has never been to look at yourself, I don't think you expect to find it anywhere else.
You don't have a motherfucking choice. None of that bullshit.
I think that everything is prefixed. And in saying that, people are saying, okay, then everything's prefixed. What about freedom of choice? And I'll tell you, just because your life is prefixed does not mean you are headed in a one-way direction. You know what I'm saying? If you are free to make choices, then you will move in a certain direction, which also has a prefixed destination. You know what I mean? So, which means if I am born to be a doctor, but then my life choices and influences lead me in another direction, then obviously I will go in a direction that is predestined for me because it is my life. You know what I'm saying? I will walk into a path maybe of a criminal. You know what I'm saying? I will make those choices and end up there.
Wait, I don't get you.
Okay, what's up?
Are you saying that I have a destiny, I'm gonna be a doctor, but then did I ever have a choice? That's what I'm saying. Did I ever have a choice to like choose what I want to be, spiritually, that is?
Okay then, if you're looking at it like that, then we're saying that you are born blank. You know what I'm saying? You are born blank. In a sense, you are born with several destinies. Let's put it that way. Do you have a choice in that? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if I'm born to be a rapper, dog.
Yeah, that's what
if God wrote, Shiva will be a rapper, man, did I ever have a choice from birth that I will have another destiny?
Oh, but then do you have a choice when you're born? That's what you judge yourself then.
Yeah.
Do you have a choice when you're born?
Yeah, a child has many choices. A practicalist would
I'm saying like this, though. When you are born, do you have a choice to be born or not?
No, you don't.
You don't. So once you are born into this life, and it has a prefixed destination,
neither do you have a choice in death too.
You see now you're confusing me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So okay, cool. Let's look at it from birth. If you have a choice whether or not to be born, then I can say conclusively that you do have a choice in your destiny. Because if you can choose to be born or not, then it makes sense that you should have a choice in where your life is going to head. You know what I mean? But if you don't have a choice in what you are born into, then I'm saying that it's possible that you don't have a choice where you'll end up.
Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you do it? Why get up? Why keep fighting? You believe you're fighting for something, for more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know? Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson, vagaries of perception. Temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect trying desperately to justify an existence that is without meaning or purpose. And all of them as artificial as the Matrix itself. Although only a human mind can invent something as insipid as love. You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I choose to.
I believe life is a choice, and you know, when you have choice in your life, then everything is not written, because you're gonna make choices throughout your whole way, and then in the end, you know, you're gonna wind up somewhere. And if everything is written, then that simply means that simply means there must be a way that you can acquire the knowledge you need to have, so that you make all the right decisions. You know, live for a purpose on earth. You know?
Why did God give man choice? Well, simply because he's a good God. He's a God that cares. He's a God that's just over the limit. He always supplies, you know, like, no, he doesn't supply just enough. It's like, you know, just I read that miracle, yeah, the bread and whatnot. Everyone was full. Left over. That's how God is. That's God's nature. So him giving us choices is basically like, yo, I love you so much. I'm not gonna give you like I'm not gonna place you inside a box. I'm giving you the world. I'm giving you authority in the world.
You know, us as humans, you know, we try to understand God and His workings. It's like, why are we trying to understand an all-powerful God? We need to understand just the fundamentals, the basics, love, you know, life. You gotta understand our purpose in life, you know. That's all we need to know. Why are we trying to understand why God, like how God is? You can't understand an all-powerful being, because He has things of doing things that we can live like a million lifetimes. We still won't understand, you know. We understand this, and then we say, okay, this is why God does this in this manner, and then He does something different. Yes, but He's evolved or something like that. You can't understand because God doesn't evolve. He's already there, you know. He's already there. So we can't fully understand God because He has too many sides. As every person on the world is created. Everybody is created in His image. So you're like trying to say that you're trying to understand everybody on earth. You know? So, and He still has tons more. People on earth are like a speck of dust to God, you know? That's how small we are in comparison to His power, you know. He's like, we're like specks of dust coming against the tsunami, you know. You won't fully understand and grasp it, but it's said in a way it's said, and why it just is, yeah, you know.
Love heals while fear brings on disease. Love opens up.
I hear the angels talking, talking, talking. Now I'm a dead man walking, walking, walking. I hear the angels talking, talking, talking. Now I'm a dead man.
Freedom does exist. It does exist, but what do you do about that freedom? It's all up to you.
Okay, freedom is a wide aspect, bro. Freedom
is some bullshit if you ask me, though.
Freedom doesn't exist. You're told that you're free, but you're not really free. It's plain and simple. Does freedom exist?
Does freedom exist? In what context do you mean?
Like, is everything written in stone? Is your destiny written in stone? Or do you have free will?
Well, we were born with free will because God said, you know, we all have free will. But then I think in this world, we're not entirely free, you know, because you have to follow the system in order to survive in the world that we live in. Once you start to stray away from the system, you don't entirely fit in.
Personally, I feel like we're told that we're free, or this whole political freedom, yeah, it exists. You can do what you want with certain limitations, which is basically the law, right? But I think in life as a whole, you're not really free.
Why? Because of the Bible, you know what I'm saying? If the Bible has these 10 commandments that say, do this, do this, do this, do that, or if you don't do any of these, you're going to hell. Now that's not really freedom, because that's basically saying, if you do this, you're gonna have a nice life. Who doesn't want to have a nice life? But if you don't do this, you're not gonna have a nice life, which is basically a whole kind of thing, or like you as an individual always opt for the nice life, but you can't really control how you're gonna get to the nice life. And then another thing is destiny, you know what I'm saying? Because if we born at point A and point B is where we die, what happens between point A and point B is basically what most Christians would say God's plan. So if at any point between point A and point B, if I lose my dad or I fail at school, it's supposed to be God's plan. It's supposed to, most Christians would say it makes you strong or whatnot. But then my point is, okay, if I fail, like, did God say, okay, this guy's gonna fail? What if that breaks me down and sort of I can't pick myself up from that? So from my point of view, freedom does not really exist. We're told that we're free, but we're not really free, because we'll never really know what it feels like to do something fully and not feel guilty.
It's a preposterous idea, because even in its own definition, freedom is not free, you know what I'm saying? If I may, let me try defining. Freedom is the ability to exist and basically do whatever without boundary, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm talking about the definition of freedom right now. By binding it into a definition, you are causing a criteria, you know? You're giving it a criteria, meaning if freedom doesn't meet this criteria, then it's not free, you know what I mean? First point. Second point is that freedom is absurd, because if you look at it from the context that we're living in, monetary gains or how much money you have actually, what you say, it determines how free you are. Because if you have money, then you're more, you know what I'm saying, your choices and your how can I put it, your liberties, they're more malleable, you know what I'm saying? They're more flexible. You can do whatever you want if you have money. And that is to say, people who don't have money are not free, because then they're forced to actually find a means to be free, you know what I mean? And that doesn't make sense at all, because in order to be free, you don't have to do anything, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to live how you live, however you want to live, but then you can't do that because money rights, you're free.
The richer get richer and the poorer get poorer. So the people with more money will have more freedom to do whatever they want, more than the people who don't have money.
Money is just things that people made to put people in the system. It's just one of those things. It was made for niggas to stay in the system. I mean, if money wasn't there, then things would actually be, we'd take whatever we want, wouldn't listen to nobody. You would be holding that camera right there, though. You wouldn't go to school for shit. So money is just another system. It's part of religion too. It's part of the whole scheme, though.
You can view it as a person with more money has more freedom, because he's able to use his money to do things that a person without money can't. He's able, you know what they say, power is right, money is power. And as soon as you have money, you're able to manipulate situations in your favor. And thus, a person without money will feel like I have no freedom, and I can't put together certain things that a person with money can. And yeah, that's my view on it. But then, as I said earlier, even the people with money, they're not really free, because they're still living in the same system that we live in. You know what I'm saying? All they did is that they were able to leave, I don't know, I can say they were able to manipulate their way outside the rat race of life and have money, but they still living within the borders of whatchamacall, of our society, whereby they still in our system. They just have money to do whatever they want, but they still living in the system that these corporate people have manipulated and made so that they can gain more wealth for themselves.
The rich should empower the poor so that we could at least uplift the world economy, you know. I never really understood why we always have to have these different currencies, you know. I always thought, you know, one currency would make things so much simpler. Imagine if we had, what, a universal dollar. You know, if you have $5 here, it's $5 in America, it's not $10 there, or it's not $2 there. If you have $5 here, $5 in the US, $5 in Europe, it would make things a whole lot simpler, and it would make things, maybe perhaps in that way, sort of decrease poverty, you know.